Welcome back to another episode of Overcoming Graduation with Brian Drury. I'd like to thank you guys for listening and welcome any new listeners to the show. So today's episode is one that I have a lot of fire and passion about. And originally I was going to call this Be Defiant. And there's a lot of reasons for that, to defy expectations, to defy the norms. But my dad said to me at one point, as I explained the idea, that maybe the title of this should be Self Defiant. And as we continue to dig into the idea, I actually love the concept because, listen guys, when you go for big things, and even small things, oddly enough, society is going to do all kinds of things to tell you what you can and can't do, what the norm is, what the average is, what normal people do, and normal people don't do that. So, you're normal, so it's not going to happen. Now, all of that can affect you. All of that can be a reason why you say, you're right, I can't, I should stop. But when you're self-defiant, there is so much more power, because really, guys, there is so much in this world we can't control. There is so much that is out of our hands, and we like to pretend like if we do X, Y, and Z, things will happen the way that we plan, but so much is unexpected, unpredictable. It is a crazy, wonderful, beautiful, challenging world out there. So at times, you're not going to be able to control what feels like anything. But what you can control is your mental state, your commitment to what it is you want, and your dedication to the people you love in your life. So in being self-defiant, what comes with that is defying your limiting beliefs, defying your doubts, defying what you have come to accept as who you are and what you are. Because we all have mistakes from our past. We have things we regret, things that we wish we could change, things that we wish we had never happened. And we can either let them limit us. Let's say, just to use an example of relationship, that you started dating this girl and everything was perfect and it was magical and you just loved each other so much, and she cheated on you. And all of a sudden, now you're crushed. You're full of doubt. You're full of insecurity. And so now, next time a relationship comes up, you meet a wonderful girl. She's great. She's treating you right. She's doing all the right things. But then yourself might kick up and go, that last girl was really great too. And then she broke your heart. Maybe this one's going to do it too. And if you don't defy that limiting, doubting, negative belief, you may end up looking for and finding a reason that this girl is not the right girl, that she is you may end up inventing something that doesn't even exist just because you're afraid of commitment, you're afraid of the connection. So now, being self-defiant doesn't mean you ignore your past. It doesn't mean you don't take anything into account. Many times our best lessons come through our worst and most difficult challenges. But in the same way, you can defy what's happening in your mind and say, you know what, I understand bad things have happened in the past, but I believe now that good things will happen and can happen in the future. I've had many people tell me that I don't get how the world works yet, right? Like when you're younger, this is spoken directly from my heart to the audience, that, when you're young guys like me, like you, people will tell you you don't get how the world works. You don't understand. You haven't been there yet. And they talk to you in this condescending tone, like they have it all figured out. And you just haven't had your heart broken yet. You haven't gone through loss. You haven't had all these terrible things happen, so you don't get what it's like yet. Now, I've had many people tell me that true love doesn't exist, that happy marriages are impossible, that you can't be happy with one person in your life, and I have seen countless contradictions to that. Then people bring up the averages. Have you seen the divorce rate? Have you seen this or that? Like, do you want to be average, or do you want to be the exception to the rule that is loving life and connected with a person that fulfills them in every way and that you fulfill them back? It's like, how do you want to live your life? Do you want to be the person who accepts whatever limits exist, accepts whatever doubts, accepts the fear that lives in your heart? Or do you want to be the person that says, fuck that. I don't care what anyone says or even my own doubts. I'm going to keep trying and keep pushing forward and keep working for it. Because, you know what, guys? Like, a lot of small businesses fail. A lot of first-time business owners fail. A lot of first marriages fail. And even more on second and third and fourth. But there are successful ones out there. There are people that have started small businesses that have grown to multi-million-dollar companies that someone is doing what they love and getting paid really well for it. There are exceptions everywhere to these things that people use as rules to justify staying at where they are and staying in their comfort zone. So if you want to just not defy anything, if you want to accept where you are, who you believe you are, and what you believe you're capable of, and never challenge yourself, prepare for a mediocre existence, guys. I mean, that's a little tough love, but really, if you want to just live that life, you can go ahead, because that's what most people do. Most people accept a route that someone else has paved for them. Most people do what they think they're supposed to, not what they want to in life. Most people settle for a partner that they think is good enough, or that, thank God, someone will spend time with me, because they're afraid to reach out and be alone again to find someone who fulfills them even more. So if you want that life, that's easy, guys. That's the easy route. That's all you got to do, is just pretty much put yourself on autopilot, go to work, go to the happy hour after work, make the typical jokes. I wish it wasn't a Monday, happy hump day, hey, Mike, they just do all the typical shit and it'll happen. If you want something exceptional in your life, I don't care what it is, whether it's a relationship or a business or an experience or a traveling experience. If you want that, you can have it, but you got to start defying what you currently believe. You have to get inside your own head. You have to get into your heart and look at who you are and why you believe the things you believe. Why are you doubting yourself? Why are you looking at that person across the room and saying, God, I'd love to talk to her or him, but I'm not good enough, or that person's too hot for me, or they're probably a bitch or an asshole. They wouldn't like me anyway. Like, why are you shooting yourself down before you? Have you ever stopped to think about that? This is something I had to do for myself. I started looking at situations where I'd see a girl across the room and I'd go, wow, she's gorgeous. I would love to. And then before my sentence even finished, I'd be knocking myself down. Well, she's a little too good looking. She's out of your league. Nah, she's probably like really mean. I mean, if you look at her and then you just start going down this negative path. It's only by starting to defy that concept and defy that have I started to even have the courage to just walk up to certain girls that I wanted to talk to. And it's one of those things where it's obviously growing and developing and I'm working on it. But just to give you guys a real life example of where you may not even know you're accepting something that is less than what you want in life, you got to start thinking about what it is you're thinking and why. Why do you have these doubts? Why do you have these limiting beliefs? Why do these things exist in your life? And unfortunately, guys, fortunately and unfortunately, part of what that is going to take is digging into your past and bringing up some painful shit. It's going to be looking back on girls who hurt you, or times that you got rejected, or times that your business failed, or times that a relationship just didn't work. And then really kind of analyzing what was it about that. Because it's not about blaming yourself. It's not about saying it was my fault and I messed up and I'm stupid. It's saying, okay, you know what? This didn't have the desired outcome that I was hoping for. So what can I do differently next time in order to be more myself, to connect more, to find more success? Because that's what life is. It's a constant state of going, attempting, and then reevaluating, because you're never going to reach it. You're never going to reach the complete perfection of life, because guys, perfection doesn't exist, but that doesn't mean, I'm sorry, perfection doesn't exist in this world. I'm a religious guy. I believe, that I believe in God and I believe in their perfection there, but perfection in our lives, in our human lives in this world, it doesn't exist. But damn it, you can get pretty close if you're willing to push and do things that are unconventional. So guys, start defying yourself in the best way possible. This is really kind of a weird concept for people, but the next time you say, I want to write a book, and you immediately write it off, start asking why. Why can't I? The next time you want to go on a trip to Europe and you say, well, but money, but this, but that, say why. Let me find out what the actual cost is. Let me see how much I would need to save per month. Let me see what my vacation days are per year. Because I promise you, guys, I've done this many times in my life already, and the more I do it, the more encouraged I get. But when you start to take steps towards your big, wonderful, beautiful, audacious dreams, you get so much energy and enthusiasm back. You get so much excitement that fuels you through each and every step. Does that mean there won't be challenges? Absolutely not. There's going to be roadblocks, but the more you pick up this momentum, that gives you the speed to hurdle over these things or burst right through those roadblocks onto a life better than you ever imagined. So this is an episode, guys. I could keep going and going, but I think you've got it. I think you know exactly what I'm saying. Start defying yourself. Start defying your thoughts, and then it won't matter what kind of defiance you're getting outside of your body, because when you're able to conquer the fear and the doubt and the insecurity inside of you, push forward into something you've never done before, introduce a new ability to yourself, then whatever roadblocks come up outside and in the quote-unquote real world will just be another step, another obstacle to figure out, to work with. It comes to you. It comes down to you looking inside, addressing the fear, bring it out and let it go. Guys, use that fear as fuel. Don't let it stop you, because all of those doubts and those things that are keeping you from taking steps right now are just an idea. It's just a concept. It is something that you're choosing to accept. You might say, oh, well, no, Brian, you don't get it. There's this, there's that. I have seen a world-renowned speaker named Nick Vujicic, who was born without arms and legs. I have seen a video about an Ironman contestant who is blind, who is doing the Kona Ironman out in Hawaii, known as probably the most difficult Ironman course in the world. I've seen people climb mountains without, do all kinds of exceptional things. I mean, I'm just trying to give you guys some examples of things where if they accepted it, and these people who had every reason to quit, who had every reason not to keep going, if they can do it, you can too. If they had all these limitations that people might have said, oh, there's no way you can do X, and they found ways around it, you can do it too. Dick and Rick Hoyt, the famous running pair I talked about in my previous interview with Christian Jensen. The father pushes the son with cerebral palsy through Ironmans, marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks, the whole shebang. His son has cerebral palsy and can only use his head to move a button that works a computer that was specially designed for him. He has written, I think, 2 or 3 books now. He has no function in his hands, his legs, very limited movement, but the only way he can write is by moving his head bit by bit and typing. Guys, if he can write a book, you can too. Books are not perfect when they come out. All these great writers that you admire, trust me, they go through edit after edit. I'm on the 7th edit of my book, and I'm looking at what I write and looking at the great writers out there, and I still have doubts. I worry. I'm like, oh, this is nowhere near as good as Patrick Rothfuss or this guy or that guy. But again, it's not about me being perfect. It's about doing my best and putting it out there. So only by defying myself have I been able to get to this point in writing my book, and only by defying yourself will you ever be able to do the wonderful things that you're afraid to admit you want to do that exist in your heart. Start being real with yourself, guys. Start letting that out. Start opening up your greatness and your light to the world, because I swear to God, it will impact the people around you and you in ways you can't even begin to imagine. So, guys, I think I have to go run or something. I'm all jacked up now. But thank you so much for listening. I hope you had benefit and feel motivated and inspired to get started. My challenge here is to take 1 minute. That's it. 1 minute, and think about one thing that you have believed forever. Or one thing that might be a new limiting belief. Identify one limiting belief that exists in your life and ask yourself why. Why does it exist? And then why do I have that thought process? And then what could I do differently next time to overcome that? Because overcoming that fear is going to take you places you never thought possible, guys. So thank you for listening. As always, you can find out more about what I'm up to and what are the upcoming things for Overcoming Graduation at overcominggraduation.com. You can also subscribe to the email list at overcominggraduation.com by typing in your information in the top left. And if you have any questions, if this inspired you and you just really want to share that this was a great episode for you, or anything else, please reach out to me at brian@overcominggraduation.com. And I would also ask that if you found value in this, or you know someone that could benefit from this message, please share it with them, guys. I want this to grow. I want to continue to develop this into something huge, and I'm going to need your help. So thank you again for listening. Thank you for being here through all this. And I'm excited to build this thing into something bigger and better than I've ever imagined and you've ever imagined too, so we can help more people. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Talk to you soon. Talk to you soon.